commenting. Yeah, it's going on YouTube. And just the last part. So, okay. So, Andros, I think we can start because it's a very short time. First of all, I'm very happy that you agreed to have this interview. It's a big honor for me because, you know, before I had 8 interviews, but it's the first one from such a big championship from Spain. Maybe you don't have the great times right now, but still you're working in the club of La Liga, which is, you know, when I told many of my friends about this interview, they say, wow, great, really Espanol. They were really impressed. And I'm also impressed. And first of all, thank you for this.
You're welcome. No problem.
I wanted to start from your personal path. We talked a bit before about your career. You started as journalist, visiting the matches of the club. Maybe you could tell briefly, like, how did you become an employee of the club? And it was your, let's say, like final aim, or it was a little bit occasionally?
The thing, well, as I explained to you, I started working in different newspapers. It closed in 2005, and then I had to start working as a freelance for the official press agency in Spain. And I think it was 2006 or 7. I started also working for the club on the weekends, and I started going to see them, writing the match reports of the second team and the women's team and under 19. In summer I used to work as well for a Spanish newspaper, and really I didn't expect to be here when they phoned me. It's going to be 10 years this Sunday. I started work for the club, and I didn't expect that in that moment things happened as they went. But obviously, for me, there's another important thing. I am a Spanish supporter. I mean, I always support the team. I'm a ticket member, all those. So for me, like, I don't know if it was a dream, because it's a bit difficult, no, to sometimes separate the feelings of the work, no. But for me, it was like very good to start working for Espanol.
But let's say if somebody from Barcelona invited you to work for press, you will say not?
I'm not sure. One of the things I've discovered now, as I had the opportunity to play against, or to be in matches against teams of Europe, I've discovered that a lot of people really not support the team. No, they're like professional, they're good doing their jobs, and they go there. This is an idea that's in the club. Doesn't really work, but in the last years we do have people that we've signed that probably they're not support Espanol since they were little, but they are good doing their jobs. And if you think about it, really, that's the important thing. No, it's not. Sometimes maybe you think they have to be Espanol supporters, or I don't know, Madrid supporters or Barcelona supporters, but maybe it's not important. The thing is that they do their job. If it's Barca phone me, I don't think I will go anyway.
Okay, but you know, in previous editions we had this talk with other guys, with other press attaché, and you know, one guy told me that sometimes it could even play a bad role for you, because when you support the team, you could be very emotional at press conferences, working with journalists.
Yes, that's one of the things I think it's not good, no? Because maybe when the team loses or there's something bad, when you get to the job, it's the same story, no? It's all around the same thing. So sometimes it can get a bit difficult, because when the team was relegated to, I don't know, to the second division, maybe other people will go to their jobs, they won't speak about it, but we are here and we suffer all the days. I mean, I'm not saying the other people don't suffer, no, but it's true that it's difficult sometimes to separate that personal and work. And as you support Espanol, you think you have to do more things. No, sometimes it could be a problem.
Yeah. But do you have kind of your own ways how to overcome this, how to not to be supporter when you need to be a press attaché?
No, yes. I mean, at the end, you have to try to do your job. No, your job is your job, and you have to try to the players or whoever has a press conference or an interview. You have to do the job. I mean, I do understand the journalists. That's something I always try to explain to the other people. No, journalists have to do their job also. They have to do questions. They have to try to get information. So there's things we cannot fight against. What we have to do is like try to show our best to whoever speaks in name of the club. No, I think it's not the other way. You cannot change the journalist's job. I was reading now a tweet that says clubs that get annoyed because journalists get info. Well, that's what they have to do. I understand, but I think as a club, you have to work so the information doesn't go out, or what the information you want to really to give to the other people. That's I think the aim.
And what can you say about your journalist background? Does it help you when you work as a press attaché? Maybe use some contacts, you can send some information.
I do think so, because sometimes, as I said before, I think you know what they have to do. Sometimes if you haven't been in the other side, maybe you some things they will get they can be strange for you. As I say, if you're the other side, you know you have to phone people, you have to go to press interviews, or I think that helps. And sometimes it's good, so you know what they need and what you can give them. I also say, as Alex, I think there's something changing, because I think maybe journalists or the press had a lot of power a few years ago, and everybody read a newspaper or heard a radio program or watched the TV. But now you have many other ways to get information about your club, as you know, social media. So really, it's not only the newspaper or the journalists can really get that info. No? There's a lot of people that can speak about your club, and maybe you also have to have under control, because these are more difficult sometimes to know what they're saying or why they say something.
And how you keeping yourself updated about like all the new medias, about all the information? Like maybe La Liga organizes some trainings for press attaché, or you doing it just by own?
No, on our own. I think, well, in our club, there's Rafa that really he takes the first team. He's the main press officer, and he's had a lot of experience. And I think between the two of us and the different communications director, also he's like a long experience. We'll try to get updated to see how things changes. Honestly, things have changed a lot, because maybe as I said before, the club, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, press was the most important, and now clubs, I think, try to do more things on their own without taking notice of the press or keeping the press. Maybe they want to do an interview to the player before the press does it, no? Or when you sign up new player, you try like to do things that only the club can do, or some pictures or some videos or some whatever you can think, no? And not in the newspapers or the TV, you will get what you want. No? I think that's some of the changes. As I said, I finished studying in 2003, and it was one way of doing journalism, and I don't know, social media was important, and websites weren't important. Now everybody goes to a website to read, or I don't know, follows Twitter or gets an Instagram, so Facebook. So you have to keep update, of course.
So you've been on the both sides. You were a journalist, and now you're a press officer. Maybe you can say what is specific for Spanish journalists? What is let's say kind of difference of them from English journalists or German journalists, if it's possible to say in that way?
I don't really know how they work in other countries. As one of the things I think I told you is that really here in Spain we have a lot of special sports newspaper. So really what we have, that I think this is a big difference with other countries, is always we have some journalists going to our training sessions. Obviously now we have this coronavirus scenario, so it's different, but in normal times we always had, I don't know, 10, 11, 8, 7, 15 journalists every day, every single day going to our training session.
Crazy.
Obviously, of course, now I think we spoke about this. No, the managers don't like really to have open. They close the door. They don't want
Yes,
them to
yes,
see
yes.
it. But we had every day a press conference. I think this is not happened in any other league, or I don't think so.
Yeah,
Actually, in Spain, as I said to you before, I think the clubs try to have less press conference. They only have the ones they have to have because before the match, after the match, or when they go to Europe, what they have to do, but not many. I understand this happens in Barcelona because one of the things is Barcelona has a lot
yeah,
of journalists going. I don't know, I'm not going to, but maybe Getafe doesn't have as many journalists day a day. Yeah, they have the, of course,
yeah.
it's a very important club, but probably there's not so many people following it every day. What happens? No? This is, I think, we have a special condition also because of we are in a big city with a big club near us, and as I said, a lot of sports program, newspapers, TV programs, radio programs. So they have to fill time. That's one of
And
the reasons we have so many.
and I thinking about the time of trainings Barcelona. Barcelona had trainings, or you try to make different times because maybe all the journalists will go to Barcelona, or it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. I think that depends on the head coach,
Okay.
and he decides. No. Usually, what they do is like I don't know. A newspaper has a people, some journalists following Barcelona and other following Español, more or less.
Ah, okay.
Before crisis, it was like that. Now in the last days, maybe there's not so many people coming to Español, but
Yeah,
I
I
remember.
can understand.
Mhm.
But still, you organize these press conferences right now, or it's now it's closed?
Now it's closed. What the thing is, we have to have an interview. I understand this is no countries of the head coach the day before the match,
Mhm.
and after the match, and this we have to do yes because of the Liga. And now during the week we don't have. Now the thing is we are playing every 3 days. On Sunday we finish. So really we have I don't know played yesterday. So on Wednesday head coach spoke after the match. Tomorrow he's speaking on Sunday again. And as for the situation we are doing this all virtual with our on YouTube channel. Get some of our we get the questions of the journalists and we ask them to our head coaches how we are working now. We think we're going to work in the few weeks because as the thing is not going better. We understand we cannot go back to the press conference as we used to do before. I don't know in February or January.
But you told me that on match days, La Liga controls and organizes the press
Exactly.
conference.
Exactly. Yes, Alex.
But what about the days before the games, or you don't have this press conference?
No. The Liga say we have to do it, but we can do. Each club can do it the way they prefer to have it. But on the matches, it's La Liga who puts their own system with Zoom. They work with Zoom, and they give you an access to the people. So it's like you have to accreditate to them.
Okay, so.
That's the thing. On the other matches.
And what about questions? What about kind of censorship you could use during these press conferences, or La Liga also controls that all the questions journalists have they could ask?
No, we've never all the questions they journalists have. There's no problem in that sense. We've never had actually a press conference. A lot of people ask twice, or I don't know. I know there's another clubs that maybe there's only one question for media, but we don't have that problem. Maybe we don't have so many, or they're not so long. It depends. A bit. No, we don't have any problem.
But don't you have the situations when, for example, you have a press conference and there is no journalist or just one guy or two guys and nobody asks questions, and then you try to inventing the questions?
No, we haven't had that. We haven't been so lucky yet. No, not with the first team. It's true that maybe if we have a women's team, we think about it first because we don't know going to have a press conference and there's only one or two journalists showing up. But we tried. I don't know. Before we used to have sometimes if the match was on Saturday, on Sunday we used to have press conference as well. But we did see that only maybe two journalists went to the training session. So we decided to say, if you're not going to come, it's only 2 people coming, it's not worth it putting here a player in front of you to have 3 questions. And journalism understood that really. The press understood it's better for everybody as well.
Okay, here is clear. Maybe you could say also some words about your team. How many people working in your department and how your responsibilities shared?
Yeah, of course. Look, I think we are 11 or 12 people working in the press. We have the direct communications director. He's more in charge of, I don't know, everything to do with the club, or the president, or I don't know, the CEO. He has to. That's what he has to control. He also helps with the first team when, I don't know, with some crazy situation or this. He also tries to be with us. Then is Rafa. He is the press officer, the first press officer of the first team. I help him, and I am also work with the academy, the second team, and all the under 19, all the academy teams. We have a person that really is in charge of social media. Even we all try to tweet or to put on Instagram, but really he's like the person more or less has an idea or tell us, I think today it will be better to have this. You know. There's another person doing the ladies team. There's 2 people for TV. There's a photographer, and we have Merello that's like more administrative. She takes care of accreditations, or not like she doesn't really do journalistic work, but he does a lot of things that help us to go ahead, and I don't know, all this paperwork or whatever gets in charge. Great person.
So, but you said about after social media guy, who I didn't get led. You said led.
No, we have 2 ladies team.
Ladies team.
Yes, the ladies team press officer, 2 and 1 coach. And we also have, because I don't know, our owner is a Chinese, very important Chinese, and we have a Chinese girl also doing all the things for Chinese social media.
Yeah, this we'll discuss a bit later. It's interesting topic. So I think about this social media, it's more or less clear. Okay, let's talk about the history of your club. First of all, I read that like your full name at the moment, it's Real Club Deportivo Español, and in Russian it said like this club has a special relationship with royal family, but you know, it's just the words, and for me it's not clear what does it mean, and maybe you could explain briefly what does it mean, and how many clubs in Spain like that.
Actually, I think something to do with history, that all the teams that have Real in front of their names, I don't know, Real Madrid, Real Sociedad, Real Mallorca, Real Zaragoza, they actually like ask, I don't know, when they got founded, if they could have this title on their names, and usually is how it works. I mean, it was at the beginning of last century in 19,000. I don't know how, something I don't really have all the info, but as I say, in Spain there is a lot of Real Deportivo, Real Celta, there's a lot of clubs that it's not on something of Espanol.
But it's just the name now, or it means something for the club?
No, it's the name. You don't have any special relationship, or
so you don't have any I don't know,
special
meetings with the royal family.
No. Maybe if we had, we will be better in the league. I don't know.
but for, let's say, for common, for normal Spanish person, it's Espanol. It's I don't know, like in ranking. If you say Spanish person Espanol, it's something big for this person or not? Because you know, for Russian people, it's not that clear. Not that much.
I don't think. I mean, you have to think really that Barca, Madrid are the most important clubs in the country, and I don't know, maybe Atletico, Valencia, Sevilla, they follow them. Maybe we can be between 8 and 10. You know, that's where maybe the place we can be. I mean, everybody knows us because we're one of the clubs that founded the league in 1929. and we've been in the first division for more than 80 years. We haven't won many titles, but it's a team that's always there. So everybody knows us in Spain, even we don't have many achievements.
And you have supporters outside of Barcelona?
We do have some. We do have in all cats. I mean, I think the main of supporters are in Barcelona, but around Catalonia we have a lot of supporters. And sometimes when they have these studies done about, I don't know, what do you think about Espanol, or what other club do you like in the Spanish league? There's quite a few people that say Espanol is like one of their, not second teams, but maybe second, third team. They have some, they like it because they also think that living in a city with Barcelona, well, it also gave us some, it's difficult. So they really like appreciate that we can all survive in a city, a big, big, big club that wins so much. Like Barcelona.
Okay, I see. Talking about the players, it was some cases when the players from Espanyol, they went to Barcelona, and from Barcelona to Espanyol. How your local public, how your supporters react when this happens?
It depends on the player, but normally don't really like it because they understand that. I mean, it's like you're a traitor enough for your club. It in the last years, it hasn't happened much. I remember when I was younger. I remember Valverde. He was the coach of Barcelona. So January he played for Espanyol.
Ivan de la Peña. So
Ivan de la Peña came from, but I think he left Barcelona. He played in Italy. He went to France. So
yes,
he didn't really come from. At the beginning, I think sometimes people like went very keen because they think, oh, he's a culé or he played for Barcelona. I think I'm talking about the supporters. But once they play for your team and they show off skills and you see they're good, I think people always forget about it. I mean, Sergio Garcia, that he's been one of the top scorers in the last seasons. He didn't play much with the first team of Barcelona, but he was like built in there, and he has ended loving a lot our club. So his, I don't know, his sons or daughter support a club. So sometimes the player also like finishes loving more our club. So they supporters see that they are good. They fight for the cause. So and you have to understand supporters, no? But again, if they score goals, if they do well their job, they love them. As I say, Sergio Garcia or De La Peña, some years ago, there's some players that did very well with us.
But let's say people are not getting crazy because of that.
No. I think lately it's no. Okay. It was before. I think it was worse 2 years ago. I think now it's something normal. Well, I think like I was younger, people, the clubs or the squads they didn't have so many changes. No, people now see that every year there's like 5, 7, 8 players changing.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's difficult to have like a very favorite player also. So I think the supporters, even though they don't like it, sometimes now it's like I hate modern football because on TV or they are getting used to how it's now it's more of a business. They get used to it.
But let's say so now you have a new president for some years, and I don't know exactly. I didn't read the financial statements, but I think with financial part it's more or less okay.
Yes.
And let's say if now Barcelona will see your young player and they wanted to buy this guy, is it okay, or Espanyol will not buy the most prospective players to Barcelona?
You don't have much an option because here they pay the money. If I don't know, that player has 1 million euros of clause. I mean, probably if they have another offer, we'll see if they can sell it to another club. But in our academy, obviously we don't. It's not so important about money, no. But there's a lot of players, I don't know, under 14, under 15, that go to Barcelona because they offer better money conditions, or they prefer to go to that club. It's better for their career. And we have a lot, not so many in the last years, but this, I don't know, 5, 6. But we also have boys that go to Madrid to play because as we get players from other teams of the city, it's normal. Barcelona tries to get the best for them, or Madrid. So I think it's something natural. You can like it more or less, but can't really do anything about it. It's money.
Okay, I see. I was surprised that Alfredo Di Stefano played in
Played.
Espanyol one season also. Yes. And do you have something special at your training camp or at the stadium about him?
No. I think Stefano and Kubala, that was two very important players in Spain, played for Espanyol at the same time. But he won't so many years in the clubs to become somebody important. I think it's something of our history, but it's not really like a great thing.
But then maybe you could tell some words about the pictures behind you and tell me who is the legend of Espanyol, actually.
Well, actually, that's Di Stefano. With Kubala. At the beginnings of the 20s, 1920, there's this goalkeeper, Zamora, that I'm sure if you Google it, you will find some important information because he played for Espanyol, Madrid, Barcelona. Like, was a goalkeeper, Ricardo Zamora, and it was like the first football star here in Spain.
I think I heard this name.
I'm sure because it's quite important. I think he won with Spain in the Olympic Games, the medal. Barcelona paid quite a few money for the transfer. Like, it was like the first big star in football. And in the 50s we had a lot of players also, but lately we had, I don't know, Nkono, he's a goalkeeper, Cameroon goalkeeper. A lot of times he was the best player in Africa. We also have, I don't know, lately Raul Tamudo, that he's been our top striker during 12, 13, was a top striker for us. Depends, or Lauritsen, or was a Danish player, Pochettino, who became our manager also. We had a good season in the 2000s with Luis Garcia, Tamudo, Riera, Moises Hurtado.
Bandiani, maybe?
Bandiani, he did well with us. He didn't, I think it was 2 years and a half, but he scored in the UEFA. He scored a lot of goals. And we also have this story with Danny Harke, that he was our.
Yes, I saw that you had this 21 number.
Yes.
Forever.
Well, the thing is, in 2009, he was in summer training and he died in Italy, Coverciano, Florencia. He was at his room and he died, a heart attack. And Pochettino named him as a captain a few weeks before. He was quite young, I don't know, 25, 26 years old. And since then, he played with number 21. So it's like some of a symbol for us. People here at the stadium all clap at many 21 on all the matches as a tribute to him. And the training complex is Danny Harke's training complex. So like a quite important figure for us and for the people of the academy, because he was a player that played for Espanyol since he was 11, 12 years old.
What about Russian players? I also read about 4 Russian players. And what are your personal memories about these guys, and what supporters of Espanyol thinking about?
Well, I don't remember much of them because I was quite young, but I do remember Kuznetsov, Korneyev, Galiamina, Moch, especially. I think Vasily Rats, I also remember playing for us. And when they came, it was like funny because I remember they have a mustache, like you don't have it.
Soviet Union guys, yeah.
And I remember they actually do very well with us because they came in a difficult situation and they were able to help the team. I remember Andrei Moch scoring a very important goal for us in Anoeta, in Atocha.
Against Sociedad, I think.
And Kuznetsov was, I think he was like the most important. Korneyev he signed for Barcelona after leaving Espanyol, and Kuznetsov did. I think he was the best. I also like Galianin, but I think Galianin, if I don't remember bad, he got an injury, a heart injury, and he had to leave play. And I know Kuznetsov was here. I'm not sure, a few months ago watching a match, so it is quite a good relation. The director of our training complex, Eloy Perez, he played with we call them the Russians, no, the Russos, and
Yeah.
they keep in touch. I maybe don't see each other as much as they would like, but they do keep in touch, and so it was really. I think they left a good memory here in
But
Spain.
what about the fans? You told a lot about the club, but what about the fans?
No, the fans, yes.
Which name they remember better?
I think Kuznetsov, everybody. I think the four of us, the four of them, or everybody remembers. But I think Kuznetsov, maybe as I said, it was like the best of them, no?
Maybe he was longer.
Maybe yes. We all remember Korneyev that he had to a penalty in Burgos, and he shot in the Panenka style, and he missed, and it was like quite disappointing. But I said, Kuznetsov, I think he was a player that people really like, and so wow.
Great. And also, I read the story. I don't know if it's a famous game for you or not, but for Russia, it's a really famous game. When in 1992, CSK Moscow played against Barcelona, and they won 3-2. And in a few days, like all these Russian guys, they were at the stadium watching the game. And in a few days, Espanyol played against Barcelona, and they lost 5-0. Like Barcelona was so crazy about that.
I don't remember about that, but probably because we've lost a few times against Barcelona. I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay, we don't have much time. Let's go to this season. First of all, which expectations did you have before the season starts? So you already planned to play at Europa League. I think you have plans for Spanish Championship, and then everything changed.
Yes, the thing is, as we got in the qualifying rounds of the UEFA League, so we had to start quite earlier than usual playing. But the club had very clear that it was very important to stay well in the league. No, they didn't want like the Europe League to affect the league. No, so we got through, as you know, well, won Stjarnan, we won. And we won Doria Lugansk, that's Viktor Popenko, and we got in the group. I think we did. That was one of the aims of the club, getting the phase. But in the league, we didn't start very well, and I think the fifth match we had changed our manager or head coach. We did well in the Europe League because we finished top of a group with Ska. We won. I think it was the first club to win, team to win in Moscow. But we had but at December we had another change of head coach, and we haven't been able to do a good season in Spanish league because.
And you know, what is for you these changes of coaches? It's your work changes a lot after that.
It changes a lot because every coach is different. So some coaches like to be like, they want you to be very on top of them, to get them all the information, to, I don't know, help them to build a speech, no? What if they ask me this, what do you think, or what do you reckon I have to say? There's other than don't like really to not speak, but help more, or they don't help more. So it's people, it's different. Sometimes when you get used to some people working, when you know, okay, now I know he doesn't like this, he does like this, I have to keep this. When you're getting used to this, you have to change, and maybe the other people who are right is like completely different. And we've been quite lucky because all are good people with us, and I think they all understand that press departments are important for the clubs, that they have to give a lot of information for media, for people, for supporters. But it is hard because you also get like a relationship with them, and when they finish, it's sad for you because, well, really sorry that you're leaving because being so good for us or so nice and you've helped us, but results are.
But usually when a new coach is coming, like you are more active or the coach trying to be involved in the team?
Well,
life?
it depends. Our first coach, he was from the second team, so we really knew it. He was like from the club. So it was even for us, it was like, oh, we are happy for him. He's get the first team. We had worked with him a lot. We thought it was going to be easy, but at the end, he only was like 3 months with us. So, and and later Martin came, and it was another type. It depends. I think you have one of the things we also do is like wait a few days to see how things go, speak to the other people that work with him, explain what things are like. We have to do yes or yes for the department, and depending on his reaction, you say, well, we can get more insight, or we have to be like a step behind.
As I understand, you worked with Pochettino also as a coach. Maybe you can remember something from that time.
Wow, with Pochettino, yes, because actually I was work as a journalist. I remember interviewing him, and when I began at the club, it was 2009. So that year he saved Espanol from one of the worst situations. In 2009, he was able to make it. And well, I mean, I think for him he was learning. He had a very great personality, and it was difficult because we weren't. I think he had good players. He also tried to give a lot of opportunities to the people of the second team of the academy, but he didn't have as much money to spend to buy very, very good players. So really, I think he did a very good job with the squads he had, and people were happy with him, even though at the end he was sacked. The team was.
But like talking about my personal experience, the coaches, they always a bit distant from press-attache, and from your experience, is it different? It could be like the coach is always coming to you asking something from the information, what is media writing about?
Yeah, it depends. As I said, I think it depends on the personality of each. Until now, I've been very lucky. I think working with them, it depends. I mean, I don't know, Quique Sánchez Flores, he was very. He was a person that didn't really mind what people said about him. He was very self-confident. So when he had a press conference, maybe you did give him some inputs about what people saying or what, but he did. He was so self-confident that he would go to a press conference and say, "Hey, I'm here, and ask me what you want." That I will be able to say. There's others that feel like they really want to know everything. So okay, so they're saying this, or they're going to. What do you think they're going to ask me about it? Depends.
Okay, that's very interesting because it's maybe the like the normal thing of our work, what we face every day, and it's different. I'm at the moment working with 2 coaches, and they're really different. And I can understand if you work with 10 or more coaches. So let's talk about the quarantine time and how it influenced your team, because as I understood that everything was not so bad before quarantine, but then as I saw you had only 1 win after restarting of your championship. What can you say about that?
Well, the thing is, we lost at Osasuna, and it was quite tough for us. The team was like a bit pressed, but when the league decided not to play any matches and suspend the league, maybe it was like another opportunity for the team to try to be in the first division. But as you said, we did come back with a win with Alaves. We drew in a very good match in Getafe, but we lost against Levante, and since then we haven't been able to win any matches. That now, if we had, no, but it's true that if we had won the three matches we lost at home, now we will have this Sunday will be in opportunity. We play in Celta, that is, they are fighting as well to be in the first division. So really, we only had one Eibar, Leganés, and Levante. Only won in 3 matches. We'll have 33 points. Celta 36. Whoever won this Saturday or this Sunday, sorry, will be in the first division. So we haven't done really very well.
Okay, but maybe now talking not more about the sports side, I'm curious, what did you do in social media and in communications during that time of quarantine and when you understood that you're relegated?
Yeah, no, and during the quarantine, we try like to keep working, doing, obviously the players, we couldn't have really access to them, but we try to ask to them, like, you could send us some videos or we can have some interviews. We try to speak to them sometimes, but we also try to like to get a lot of things about our history. I don't know, remember this, or doing a lot of quiz on Instagram, or some, like, I think you've seen this with the different emojis. Try to who player play for these clubs with the flags and see. I remember, okay, that's Pochettino, or whatever. I think it was like more doing games or quiz or
maybe cooking experiences now.
We didn't have, but it was difficult to have info every day. But I think that we did a lot of things. We tried to do a lot of different things, and when went back on at the beginning of May, started, I don't know, as usual, recording, taking photos, trying to have a press conference.
And do you remember the first training after quarantine? Like, how was it? Maybe everybody was so much attentive to the details, masks, gloves.
Yes, absolutely. I think people, it was like not scared, but like very, wow, are you coming back? Because here in Spain, I think the teams started working before really it was all over, no? I mean, So you had to be very careful with all the tests that you have to do. Well, it was quite difficult because, as you say, you have to all the hands, the gloves, clean and be careful with the social distance. And now we also have to do it, no? But now you're maybe more used to do it, and you're conscious. But at the beginning, it was wow.
But how did you do interviews, for example, with the players? You kept this distance, or you didn't do interviews?
No, we had we keep the distance. La Liga at the beginning of when we came back, the Liga was also here. We didn't with the club. No, the Liga didn't allow to be any media or press. Of course, no, because they had to close like. The training complex only has access to people that's for having the test and people linked to the first team. But La Liga also was there. So the thing was, I don't know, maybe Tuesday and Friday we had like 2 press conference with La Liga and a player, and we had long micro to have the distance and try to player, and then between La Liga and us have 5-6 questions, and we give it to the other press. That's how it works.
You know, it should be very tough medical regulations. And, you know, for example, I don't know if you know something about Russian championship, but in Russia, the main concern was that if you have one case of coronavirus in your team, then the whole team is going to quarantine like for 2 weeks. And this was the main problem for championship because, you know, some teams, they were negotiating to postpone the game. Other teams say, okay, we can't postpone, and it was technical losing like 3-0. Like what was in Spain about that? Did the clubs discuss in advance what will happen if you have like 1 or 2 guys with coronavirus?
Well, I don't really know. I did hear once that Tebas, who's in charge of La Liga, said that if a player was positive, they will only like isolate that player. That's what he said. Obviously, maybe if you ask some doctor, he will say that's impossible. You have to isolate all the people that have been in touch with it. But as it hasn't happened, well.
But how often did you give the test?
Every 48 hours before every match.
Yes.
So today we're playing on Sunday. This afternoon we have the test. well, this is the last one, but it was every 48 hours.
Okay.
For people, players, staff, and any people that work on match day. I mean, I don't know, marketing or I don't know, doctors or cleaning people. Everybody had to have the test.
But let's say for away games now, it's less people flying with your team, or it's the same.
Well, I will say it's the same because actually there's more players traveling because we can go with 23 players. There's more physios going because there's more players. And I don't know, in our department, we're going the same people. So the only thing is we go in a private, obviously in a charter, bigger flight, bigger, but no, I think more or less it's the same people. We don't have many people. We're not a club that travels with a lot of people either. I don't know, maybe for us. So we are the same more or less. I would say we are more.
And the restrictions when you come to the other city, like you stay in the hotel.
Well, we have to stay exactly, yes, all day close in the hotel. We can go to have dinner in the hotel, and once we finish, back to the room, and we have to meet to leave at the time we have to leave, and that's all. I mean, we cannot do anything. I mean, when you go out sometimes to another city, maybe you have some time to have a walk or be outside the hotel, but no, it's impossible.
But you know, what about Barcelona? Because it's a quite touristic place, and what about the players when you have trainings in Barcelona? It should be some limitations for them also.
Well, I think they have the indication they don't have to leave. They can go to the training station and try to be at home the most possible time. One of the ideas the league had, it was to put all the players in a hotel during the league, to have them all in a hotel, even training sessions. But I think the players didn't like that idea, and at the end they had to go. They didn't do it, but it was one of the ideas to have all the players isolated. For example, in the basketball league, I know they had 12 teams playing in Valencia, and it's something similar to the NBA.
Yeah.
And they were in the same city, the same hotels, and they couldn't. It was only 2 weeks. It's not the same, but during those 2 to 3 weeks, they were closing the same hotel. They couldn't leave.
But now your players, they are living at their homes.
Yes,
let's say with the families, and it's
correct. Exactly.
Okay. Okay, we have not much time. Maybe now we go to questions from my subscribers. Maybe you could answer really briefly because we have a short quiz after.
Okay.
So the first question, are you playing, or maybe you want to play friendly games, kind of exhibition games in Russia? If you're interested in it.
Well, I mean, we were this year or last year against this guy. I mean, it's okay. I think now the thing is that it depends a lot on the money you can win, and I think it's not only a sports decision. Sometimes marketing has to say, and how much you pay, and all that. No problem. I think the club will go anywhere it's good for them.
Okay, I will answer then. Okay, Press-attache from Kyrgyzstan was my previous guest. He said that Espanol has a collection of jerseys from different clubs with which they played ever before. And how was this tradition born, and which interesting cases maybe you have about that?
Well, the thing is something to do with a new stadium. It's not so new, but in 2009 it was inaugurated, and since then somebody thought it would be a good idea to have all the jerseys of the visiting teams. So we have Liverpool was the team that had the friendly, and we have all European teams and Spanish teams. You know, of course.
How many? Could you tell? How many?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure because maybe about 50. This year, I think this season we have 7 more because of the Europe League. So I think and next year, I understand we will have a lot of new ones because being in the second division, we'll have a lot of new teams that we haven't played.
But it's quite a new tradition, as I understand.
Yes, it's quite a new. Now, with this idea, all the tour around the stadium is something people like to see because they say, "Oh, I remember those matches," or
Yeah.
This club has played here. Yes, I don't know.
Yeah, that's good. So next question about supporters. Do you have any, let's say, segregation of districts that some parts of the city supporting Barcelona, some parts Espanyol, maybe social,
No,
or
because
by
I think
profession?
no, because really I think there's more supporters of Barcelona. We don't have. You can focus. No, this part of the city. No, it's really Barcelona is all around the city, and we have.
So about your Chinese player, the question maybe, do you plan to invite more Chinese players, and what could you say about this guy? Like, do you have more supporters in China right now, and or more subscribers in social media?
We understand. We do. Boulay, he's best Chinese player, so really he's like, you know, top player in his country when we signed him, and he's doing well. I mean, he has a good skill. He has a good level, and of course we have some more people following us. Actually, they say that all the matches we play is here at some time that we in China is the best time to watch us. And I think, as I said, we have a Yuan. She works for us, and she's like with different social medias, with the Chinese web edition. We know that Bulay scored against Barcelona in the derby. That day was like top for them, and we know like we have some shares selling, some jerseys that we sell there in China. I think it, of course, or sponsor this year in the T-shirt. He also has linked to Bulay. For us, it's very not only sport in the sports situation, also in the markets and money situation, financial situation. It's been a very great sign for us.
You know, to be honest, I would talk more about your president and about his activities, but maybe next time, because now I hope we have like 5-10 minutes maybe, or you need to go.
I need to go, really, Alex.
Okay. Maybe, I don't know, maybe we can make quiz a bit later when you have 15 minutes or, okay?
Okay.
Anyway,
okay.
Thank you for this first part. I hope we continue.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Alex. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.